Huge round of applause for Wendell Rodricks. He's here with us today. We're going to have a great session. Towards the end of the session, please feel free to ask him questions. I will open the floor to questions, so please feel free. He's very lovely and very, very helpful. Okay? Enjoy.
He is a master couturier. The very fabric of life is his canvas. The threads of creativity are his tools. His every drape evokes beauty, and every silhouette tells a story. A man who defines style and influences the fashion trends of an entire nation. From Los Angeles to Paris, Mumbai, and finally to his ancestral home in the charming village of Kolvale in Goa. Wendell Rodricks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, one of the most sought-after fashion designers, a writer, an activist, our next guest is known for his perfection and love for minimalism in the fashion industry. The Padma Shri awardee, the environmentalist, the writer, the designer, Wendell Rodricks is in true sense the face of Indian fashion. Please put your hands together for my favorite designer, Wendell Rodricks. So Wendell, how are you?
I am very happy to be back in this room. I think I was last speaking for a women's empowerment conference or summit that happened here. My agent, literary agent Meeta Kapoor is here in the audience. And I'm very happy to be in this very cultural city called Jaipur.
Superb. We're looking forward to learning and knowing about you.
I am going to talk to you about my life in fashion, but more importantly, beyond fashion. And I want you all to enjoy the talk, because I want you all to take away what I do, because if I can do it, anybody can do it. I was just telling Pia backstage, I said, you know, when I was young, I was shy, I was thin, I was stammering, and I was gay. I'm gay still. And I overcame everything. Every single thing I overcame with confidence. And believe me, if I can do it, you can do it. So I'm going to start.
Superb. Thank you, Wendell. Thank you very much.
So when I was in Paris, they actually trained me and said, you know, everybody has an eye. Whether it's an eye for music, if you're composing music, whether you're being a VJ, yeah, it's your eye. Nobody can take that eye away from you. So my eye was trained to look at other things which most people can't see. So for example, here is a typical river scene from near my village. Everybody saw everything else. I saw the ripples of water down there, and I said, let's make a fabric out of it, and we did. And
Wow.
this is the lovely Lisa Hayden.
Yes.
I discovered long ago that Indians are very good at geometry, so am I. I'm a duffer at math though. I mean, I'm quite sure I failed in my SSC because I got 35 marks in both Hindi and maths, and they must have said this poor chap is getting a higher first class. Let's pass him and send him to the next standard. So this blouse is actually just one circle with two holes for the armholes, and then which the arms can pass through, and a ribbon which ties the entire thing together. Do you know when we learned cutting? I don't know. Are there any design students here? Oh, a whole bunch of them. You all know how we hate cutting, right? And pattern making. They teach us some nonsense. They really make it so difficult that you don't want to touch the scissors. In this entire country, I know only four designers who can handle the scissors. I think James Ferreira, Hemant Trivedi, Savio John, and myself. Because everybody else gets scared of their scissors because it's completely threatening to any designer. But I have discovered a system which is going to be my next one of my future books, where I cut using Indian geometry, which I learned from my tailors. So that book will come out later on, but I'm going to tell you, I've given that class to women who sit, poor women from the Usha Silai School project, and my chauffeur, since he has nothing to do, he stands and listens to it, and believe it or not, he can cut his own clothes now after my technique.
Wow.
Yeah, he really can.
Superb.
Vinay can cut his clothes.
So maybe I can become a designer also then after your book.
I don't think we need competition from beautiful models.
There's a potential that I could also do it.
Yeah, you can. It's very easy. If I get the chance to teach it. So anyway, what happened in my career was my teacher told me in school in Paris, she said, Wendell, don't try to be the best in your school. You know you're good. Don't try to be the best in your city or even in your country. Try to be the best you can internationally. If you try to be internationally new and internationally the best at what you do, then like me, you can stand at Karl Lagerfeld at the side of him, like I did at Chanel, and say, Mr. Lagerfeld, what you do is great, but what I do is also great because it's internationally new and it's coming from a new space. Another good lesson I learned in Paris was they said, one of my teachers said, use your DNA in your design. When I finished my studies in Paris, I took my portfolio and I went to the legendary Yves Saint Laurent. And there this lady was going to give me the internship, and she said, but Mr. Rodricks, you're good, the sketches are superb, but why don't I see your lovely country and state? She had been to Goa. Why don't I see it in the clothes? I mean, Mr. Saint Laurent himself can do all these things. This, jackets and gowns and skirts, what you've done. So what I did was, I was so ashamed, I came back to India. And I said, I'm going to put my country and state into the clothes. And I think that is a lesson for all of us. You all have a very special DNA. Nobody can do Kashmir like Rohit Bal. Nobody can do Calcutta like Sabyasachi. And if anybody does Goa better than me, I'll kill them. Quite simply. So I took the beach. That's all I had in Goa. I took the beach, I made the sarongs, I made that crinkle top, and Germany calls me to the world's largest garment fair in the world, and I became the first Indian designer. It's very scary because you don't know, what to expect. You can't call up somebody who's been there before and say, what is happening, how does the show go, whatever. And the discipline was incredible. The show was happening in October. They wanted the clothes, at least some of the clothes, to shoot in Barbados in June. And I said, my God, that's very early. But then I understood because the clothes went on this supermodel, you know who she is. So it went on Helena Christensen and photographed by the great Mario Testino. And I said, in this country, it's very funny. You have to become big there to be recognized over here. Till then, nobody knew that Wendell Rodricks was hiding in Goa and making these same clothes, but they said, oh my God, he's going to Germany, and that's what happened. So everywhere I pushed my state. So this is what we do in design. I love gardening. This is a hibiscus. And we either blow it up or we reduce it so that you can't recognize it. And now there's some eye candy for the ladies and the gay men in the audience. So you see what happened to that hibiscus. I couldn't get it done in India because nobody could understand what I wanted in my head. I had to go to Sri Lanka. I found this girl who could do the tie-dye, and then finally I got it done. We almost had a wardrobe malfunction.
I remember that.
On Asif. I could have killed him. Next. So this is my library. Please read as much as you can, because I think if I did not read as much, I would not write as much. And one day what happened is one of the books fell down from the top, and as it fell, it unfurled. And when it unfurled and fell, I saw these beautiful pages all floating. So I said, we must try to make a dress like that. And we did. That skirt is on Sheetal Malhar. We had to use 120 or 140 meters of net that we stuck into the spine of a book, a skirt. And Madhur Bhandarkar, who is coming this afternoon, I think, yeah?
Yes, that's right.
He saw it and he loved it, and he was coming backstage because he was doing this movie called Fashion. And no designer wanted to touch that movie because they saw what happened with Page 3 and the scandal it made. Yeah. So, were you in the film?
No.
No, she was not in the film. But there were some real models in the film. And I think I didn't know he was doing the film. Then he said, can you help me with the script? And I said, no, I'm not a script writer. At that time, I was not even writing. Then he said, can you at least help us with the styling? I said, I am not leaving my lovely Goa to go and sit over there in Mehboob studio where the cobwebs from Raj Kapoor's time are still in the roof. You know yes, how horribly dirty it is. And I said, I'm not coming over there, but I will do a walk-on cameo if you want. And that's what happened in the end. He gave me my name across the screen, and the two actresses, Kangana Ranaut got to wear that outfit and became my friend. And then that is, both the actresses walked off with Best Actress and Best Supporting Actress from the film. My point is this: if somebody tells you, do a movie, even though you've not done a movie, please be like me, an opportunist, and grab everything you can do. Because life is not only about staying in one area of expertise. Expand your horizon and go everywhere you want to go. Sorry.
That's very great sound advice. Well, I've never heard a designer saying that, because you tend to get stuck in the field you choose. And you say, okay, I'm only going to do runway, I'm only going to do runway, I'm only going to do high fashion. But why not say yes to everything, because you're going to take something away from it, right? You
would not be involved with animals if it wasn't for a certain love that comes for
absolutely. Absolutely.
And you can do something professional with it in the future.
Absolutely.
So anyway, then I got invited to the world's first designer again. I don't know why these first come to me. To the world's largest garment fair, world's most prestigious salon, the Salon Pret-a-Porter de Paris. Again, I was very nervous. You're showing in Paris. You have a big audience. You have very big critics. And I did the whole collection in white. And I called it Goa Spa because I wanted to push my state every time. I said, I'm going to make sure that we call it Goa Spa, even though at that time we didn't even have spas. The spas are in Kerala. But I said, what the hell, if Armani can steal our Sherwani, if Yves Saint Laurent and Galliano can steal our sari, I'm going to steal something from Kerala, and we called it Goa Spa. Now those marigolds on the head, I wanted to put marigolds on the head, but I didn't realize that in Paris, even though I had lived and studied there, that they don't sell marigolds in the florist. So we had to go and rob them from the flower beds on the Champs-Élysées and put them in the girls' hair. That is Marilu Phillips. Because I lived in Goa, I could give my country minimalism, I could give my country eco-friendly and resort wear, all because I was living close to the sea, close to nature. At that time when we did this, there was no coconut shell buttons, there was no coconut shell accessories. It was way back in 1991, I think, and we did the whole thing with those accessories. And then, all these lovely girls, most of them I put on ramp. Bottom right, Frida Pinto kept saying, I'm too short for a ramp. I said, what nonsense, you are going to go on ramp. And I threw her on the ramp. Deepika I discovered in a mall. She was still in school. at the Leela in Bangalore, Diana Penty. I knew through my friend Denzel Sequeira that she was the niece. Anushka Sharma I found in a Wrangler shop. Lisa Ray, of course, is my great friend. And Malaika Arora Khan. Now, I just want to say one thing. When you become designers, please don't say, like I'm saying it now, I discovered them, yes, because I'm saying it with a lot of humility, because of the fact is that they would have been discovered by somebody else the next day because they are so beautiful. We did a shoot for the first time, right, with you?
Yes, my first shoot was with Wendell.
Yeah.
It was.
At the Marriott.
At the Marriott, and he put me in barely nothing. And also I walked for him in one of his gowns that became extremely famous, because if you do Google us together, that's the first picture that will turn up. And let me allow him to.
That was a gown. We played a game in the studio and said, can we make a gown with 1 meter of lycra? Of course, we made the gown. I made a swimsuit and anchored the swimsuit in such a way the neckline went down to Kanyakumari, the slits went all the way up to the Himalayas, and the back was completely bare, and Pia had nowhere to hide, basically. And then we played a trick, because on the sides I anchored it with a curtain ring, so that you thought that she was not wearing underwear, but actually she had the swimsuit underneath. Okay, the point is this: please promote young talent. If I did not shoot Priya earlier, that gave her so much confidence. I remember she went and told Diana and all the other models, because the photographs came out fabulous. And then, thanks to Meeta Kapoor, who's here, I wrote 3 books so far. The first one took 11 years to write, because I had to research the entire history of Goan costume. Please do this for your state. Please contribute in some way, because you are not just there to make money out of clothes or out of any business that you're in. Whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're an industrialist, please go outside your box and do something that's interesting for you and for your country and state. Then I wrote The Green Room, which is my memoir, and finally I wrote Poske, which is about a very kind of shameful tradition that happened in Goa. And then, for various reasons, I kept getting offers to write in other books, and then I never said no, because I think it may break my back, it may give me a lot of hard work. Do you know, when I write, writing is not my main job, so I actually have to wake up at 4 in the morning and write from 4 to 6, 2,000 words a day, so that at the end of the month, I'll have 60,000 words. And at the end of 2 months, I'll have 120,000 words, which is enough for a book. Having said that, my book Poske had just about 30,000 words. And do you know what this is? How many of you have been to to Goa? Oh, lots. This is Baga. When I first found the photograph, I cried, but it made me an activist for my state. I said, I'm going to try and I'm still fighting at the moment for a group of trees.
Yes, absolutely.
And getting threatened by one politician. But I became an activist. We fought against many things. A lot of them we won. We stopped the mining in Goa. If somebody jumps up and tells me they're going to destroy something, I'll fight for it. Because I believe that all things are living, from your dogs to all of you. And we all deserve a life. Next, this is the Goa. Then I joined Green Goa Works, where we provide solutions to various things. We teach people, we teach the government, we teach companies, hotels, how to compost, how to make the earth better, how to make bad water into clean water, and various things with various products that we have, which are all natural. This is the Margaon market. It's the only market in the country which we composted so well that all the goba gas that they use goes to the market people, and they can use it to make tea and light up their stalls and everything with them.
You know, I have known Wendell for so many years, and man, wow, you know, there are so many factors that make you so multi-dimensional in your fashion sense, in your outlook in life, and I didn't even know half of them.
But this is the idea of this entire presentation, that we can all do it, if you find the time, and you must make the time. So, Then, this is Shanta Durga. For those who have been to Goa and been to the mandir, do you know I had to learn about my own gods. You know, I'm Catholic by birth, but I know 400 years ago I must have been Hindu. So I called Devdutt Patnaik, my friend, and I said, you know, spend 4 days with me. I want you to tell me about the Goa gods. He told me about 2 gods that are completely different. One is Shanta Durga, because everywhere else in India, she's on a tiger and she's going to war. But in Goa, Shiva tells her, you're very angry, you go to Goa and become Shant. So that's why we have the Shanta Durga in Goa. She doesn't come in that warrior avatar. On the other hand, our Krishna is not the happy Krishna with the gopis that you see everywhere all over India. He comes to Goa to kill the Narkasur demon. And we do this one day before Diwali, which is why also that later on when we became Catholics, we fool the Portuguese and we burn an old man on the 31st of December in relation to this burning of this Narkasur, which happens one day before Diwali. Then I joined INTAC. You all know what INTAC is. So I joined INTAC, and then together with Mario Miranda, Gerard D'Cunha, Mrs. Ambani Salgaonkar, and all of us, we decided that we have to help these old Goan monuments. At the moment, there's a fort in my village which we are restoring. But this is the Reshma Ghosh fort. It was in a complete ruin, and we restored it completely to its glory. And then one day, Mr. Rane, our ex-chief minister, said, jokingly at a party when he came back from Singapore, Wendell, can you do our Goa state uniforms for the police? And everybody had a good laugh. But 3 days later, Wendell Rodricks had the sketches ready in the CM's office, got approved, and India got its first designer police uniforms.
Wow, superb.
Then I joined the Museum of Christian Art on its managing committee, and I began to find strange things over there. One of them was this, crucifix. The early Christians, when they converted us, they said, okay, y'all are saying this is the new God, but and he's the son of God, whatever it is, but we want to put our Surya on top of his head, because you know how you are descended from a royal person or from a god. So these are the only crucifixes in the world where you have a Surya on top of the cross. And then we were always making fun of the Portuguese, because including in church. So these 2 statues actually were on top on an altar. We did not like this new religion. We had to start drinking wine and eating bread. That's why they call us Paolas. And various things that the Portuguese made us do, and we were using every opportunity to make fun of them. And one of them is this thing where they have these. The Portuguese never saw the back of these angels, but what the artisan did was they actually lifted the skirt and showed the bum of that angel at the back, which nobody was going to see except them. Only they knew they were making fun. Then this is a forest that's in Goa. They were burning the firewood and the trees indiscriminately, some tribals on the border. They got eye problems, they got asthma problems, and animals ran away. We have 5 tigers in Goa, by the way, and many leopards. One leopard ate my neighbor's dog some time back. And so we said, listen, now you all stop cutting these trees. We will give you free gas, but you will plant what we want to plant. So we made them plant indigo and mangista and whatever it is. After 7 years, we got our dyes. They used to come and strip the forest, give us the dyes. And then we got our dyes. Animals came back, forests came back. It was a win-win situation all around, especially for the women, because when the women got the gas, they were now cooking on a table, not sitting on the floor, where their children spoke down to them, their husbands spoke down to them, and they suddenly got an equality, because they were the bread earners suddenly who were bringing the leaves and all the plants, which we still do till today. And with that, we created, and I revived and became a revivalist. We revived the Kunbi sari. The blue dye, of course, is indigo. But what you may not know is that pinkish dye on Noina is called mangista. It's a very old dye from the time of the Mahabharata, where they used to dye their clothes, their drapes, and then if they got a wound, they would tear it into strips and wrap it around that wound because it is an antiseptic dye. And we still use it in our dyeing, in our Eco Goa room, because you don't sweat so much in it, you don't get fungus, you don't, the perspiration doesn't smell, etc. Then I also did, each time a dancer said, or a theatre person said, whether it was Jesus Christ Superstar on Devika Bhojwani, or whether in this case, Madhu Natarajan, will you do garments for stage? I always said yes, because I love dance and I love theatre as well. And then I also did illustrations. You can get paid very highly if you sell your illustrations to the right person, the right company. So I was also illustrator. And teacher. I taught for many years. I still teach in college. And if any of your colleges need me to talk, my email is wendellrodricks@gmail.com. I do it for free. I do not charge for education.
Superb. Superb.
And and then, as I said, any opportunity, somebody, we are like all of us, we are like cabaret artists. You pay us, we'll dance. So somebody said, can you do the cover of a coffee box? I said, yes, of course we'll do it. And we did it. And walked away, I think we walked away with something like 10 lakhs plus commission. I have a very astute partner, okay? My partner in real life and partner in the business also. I think he was either a Jew or a Marwadi in his early life, because he can really make money. You give him 20,000, he can make it into 400 crores, and he'll show you how to do it as well. So he negotiated the deal, and we are still getting money on this coffee. And then I'm a big foodie. I still continue to cook. Downstairs is one of my recent innovations. It's the curry patta hummus. You must try it. It's really good. That is my friend Geeta Simoy's jasmine soft drink for summer. We bake our own bread at home, poi bread. You would have not tasted.
No, I haven't tasted it. He's just become a baker.
Our sausage pound, yeah. You can go to a girl called Alison Lobo and learn how to bake bread in one day. I'll give you a number, Pia. And then we started to do foreign advertisements. This was one of the most exciting we did. They called me to Paris and they said, "We do these, kind of posters for the shops?" And I said, "Sure, of course we can." And I said, "But I think you're barking up the wrong tree here, you guys. Because, I don't think Indian women have such beautiful hair. They are never going to straighten it and streak it and color it." How wrong was I?
Yes.
Everybody was thrilled with all the posters we did, except Miss Ray. Because Miss Ray, what we did, her beautiful hair was fighting with her beautiful cleavage. And Farooq Chotia, who shot the photograph, said, "We can't have this cleavage because she has a great body, okay? Like Pia." So we had to airbrush her cleavage out from the poster. It was literally making mountains into molehills. This was shot at the Rambagh Palace with Aishwarya for Longines. Lots of money we get for these things because sometimes you're the only brown person on the set. I remember doing one ad for Raymond Weil with Charlize Theron. The same agency called me. And they said, the Charlize Theron is coming from Hollywood, and can you dress her and whatever. But they were not too sure whether this brown boy could deliver as well. So they also employed a French lady who came with 17 clothes, and I went with 3 clothes. The hair, the makeup came from Chanel, the hairdresser from Alexandre, etc. I'm the only brown person on the whole set. But the French stylist was sent home with all her 17 clothes, and Mr. Rodricks' clothes ended up on the ad. And then I'm a big traveler, and I write on travel. This is in Mongolia. That's a big Mongolian vulture. I don't know how I have the strength to carry it on me, and the beak was too close to my face. But I have made up my mind to see all the countries from the 193 countries in the UN. We have already finished 160, and there are about 20 left. That's all that's left. So we are going to make sure that we see the rest in this lifetime. And I'm a gardener as well. My mother taught me to garden, and I have a very beautiful garden, as Pia knows. That down there is my pool. And I've planted all these plants, learning which flowers attract birds. Those small fire sparks down on your right bottom, they attract all the sunbirds. Some other flowers attract butterflies. Some other flowers attract kingfishers, etc.
Just to pause, Wendell, there, I now live in Goa, and I've been born and brought up in Bombay. And of course, I did notice nature a lot when I was in Bombay, but not as much as since I have lived in Goa. But while Wendell is sharing this, what I want to bring to light, especially for you students, is that there is inspiration in everything, even if you're living in a city. You just have to be open enough to see it. So see it. There are birds in your city. There is soil that you can get inspired from. Ants and how they create molds. It's amazing. So don't feel like because Wendell lives in this beautiful paradise called Goa, he has all this. You have it too. You just have to open your eyes and look for it. And you can do it. You can get inspired by it.
I completely second that. That's why I said you have an eye. That is your eye. Nobody can take it from you. You have your DNA. Please use it. Don't try to do somebody else's DNA. If you feel naturally about something from your culture, do it. Revive something and contribute. This is the great Simone Tata. I was consultant for Lakme, and I guess because I speak fluent French, Simone was very keen that I join Lakme as consultant. And just before she left Lakme, when it became Lakme Lever, she said, Wendell, they want to start this fashion week called Lakme India Fashion Week, and can you please advise them? Because Mr. Anil Chopra and Sonia Singh, they know about how to market cosmetics, but they don't know anything about fashion. So I was in New York at that time doing an internship, because you see, I was researching for my book Moda Goa, which is now going to become a museum. I'll show you later. But I sat there on the steps of the New York Library, and it was there that we said, yes, we will go ahead and invest these crores, and we started the first India Fashion Week in 2000. Okay, Simone Tata told me something. Sorry, I'm going to go back to this wonderful lady. When I turned 40, she said, Wendell, I want you to do me one thing. God has given you everything. God has given you money. God has given you a big house in the country, everything that you want. Please promise me one thing that we Tatas do. Every Saturday from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, do charity. Help people. I have done it now for 18 years. Thank you. We help everybody. Whether it's battered women, people don't even know there are battered women in Goa. We rescue people from shelters, young girls who are almost pushed into prostitution. We take them to our studio. We teach them how to sew. My partner, I just gave him 3 of my charities now. I said, you do it because it's all getting too much for me. But we help children of parents with AIDS who live very close to your mother-in-law's house. We help teenagers with HIV. HIV and AIDS are now off the fatal list, but people still need. I was in the Goa Medical College just day before yesterday, counseling a lady because she was really in a bad state. She came from Sindhudurg, outside Goa, because we have free medical in Goa. And she came there with her husband. Her husband has HIV and transmitted it onto her, and she only discovered it when she got tuberculosis. And when they tested her, there right in front of me, they said, ma'am, you unfortunately also have it. And then her son was sitting there, and they said, we want to test him as well, and he also had it. So it was like, she was like a waterfall. She was just crying, and I told her, ma'am, don't worry, there is a drug called PrEP, and you can live with it, and you will live a long, healthy life, and your son can get married, because with PrEP, now you cannot, it will not get transmitted to his wife or to his children. So we do all these things. Please do something. This country needs you. And if you can give 3 hours of the week to this country and to the poor people who need it, please do it. Sometimes it's not only the poor. I take my guitar and go and sing in old age homes in Goa. And they love it. And I show them fashion show videos, and they're all very happy. And then I'll have a hat competition for them, and all these oldies will walk in their hats. We'll give them a prize, etc. Okay. The next slide I'm going to show you is called, there was a blind professor who one day approached me through Meher Castellino and said, I want to put braille on t-shirts so that you all can see what it looks like. And I said, but that doesn't help you, right? So I said, how do you dress? And he said, I have a big problem dressing. I take 45 minutes every day to dress. Because I know when I was young, I had sight, so I know I want to wear a white shirt today with a grey pant. And I keep on taking out shirt after shirt and asking my wife, who can see. And she also teaches at the Worldly School of the Blind. And Professor Acharya took 45 minutes to dress what we take only 10 minutes. And I said, that is terrible. I mean, how can you live like this? You know, we take 10 minutes, we dress up and we go out and are confident to face the world. I told him, I am going to do something for you, sir. I don't know what it is as yet. And I went home back to Goa, and for 9 months I thought about this man's problem. And I do not know why, since Helen Keeler, nobody thought of putting Braille on the clothes. So when I said that I can put Braille and he can read it, I put it onto a shirt, a white shirt, and I sent it to him with buttons and whatever it is. And I called him up. In those days, no mobiles. I said, Professor Acharya, can you read it? And he burst into tears. I said, what? Did I do something wrong? He said, no, I can read it. He said, I can read it. I said, what does it say? He says, what says on, Malaika, what she's trying to read there. We did it with fine French knots or small seed pearls. He said, it says the Wendell Rodricks Visionaire Collection, color white, size medium. And we even did the buttons and buttonholes so he would never make a mistake. Now it is mandatory in every school for the visually challenged that they learn the Wendell Rodricks method of putting Braille onto clothing. They teach it to one member of the family who can see. Then we help everybody. That boy his name is Lyndon, and he got electrocuted. And he said, I asked him, you have any problem with your dressing? He said, I can put my shirt, I can put my pant. The only thing is I can't button. So we made a shirt for him that looked like it was button, but it was a fake buttoning, and he was very happy with it now. He's our Goa champion for football on that small court. I don't know what it's called. Does anyone know the name? What? I can't hear. Anyway, but he is our champion, and he's in Don Bosco school, and I went to give a talk. And when I saw him, he came, I said, problem. This lady lives not far from me. She lives near Perne. Her name is Fulrani. Fulrani doesn't have limbs under her knees and doesn't have, of course, arms after her elbow. But she can write beautifully. She can embroider beautifully. And how she does it, I have no idea, but she was in a convent in Old Goa when I met her for the first time, and now she's my friend. This is the Breast Cancer Society of Goa, Maharashtra, and we have an annual conference where Deepika Padukone, that is Srinivas Dempu's wife, Pallavi, and this oncologist from the Manipal University, from the Manipal Hospital. Every year we help these ladies because, they need, in one shot when you get breast cancer, you lose your breast and your hair. And they can tell a designer, can you make me a turban? Can you make my prosthetic bra lighter? All these things that we can do to help them. And I did not know at that time, and I got involved because I did not know that Goa has the highest concentration of breast cancer in the country per million people. And so that's what we do. This is my partner, Jeron. We have been together now 35 years. This is our 36th year. And this last year has been specially celebratory. We didn't have a party, but because we won the verdict on Section 377. And absolutely. After fighting for 3 decades, we fought and we finally vetted everybody from the government to the court to everyone, and the police now we have a job to do with them.